Musk probably realized he'd committed a crime because
when DOGE checks would be written or sent out.
Sure. Well, I guess we need to be. I guess we need to be successful at scale. We've made a lot of progress.
Picture it: the world's richest man, Elon Musk, sitting smugly at the center of attention. A man who yells free speech while blocking critics, rails against government interference while cashing in on government contracts, and promises transparency from behind closed doors. Today's clip lays Musk bare. Listen, really listen, to the question he's asked, and how he squirms through the answer. What you'll see isn't just a man tied up in his own contradictions, it's the face of a system that rewards hypocrisy and punishes truth. Now, let us have a look at a question from someone that honestly just seems to have gotten paid.
I just want to say that DOGE's findings demonstrate to the American people that the government clearly does not care about our hard-earned tax dollars. I'm only 26, but I can imagine it's frustrating for people who have worked their entire lives to see their tax dollars going to fraud, waste, and abuse. And you alone have contributed so much money to our government
yes.
via taxes, so thank you.
You're welcome.
But I'm sorry that your money's not being spent very well. You've clearly shown your leadership and team is capable of transforming our government into something better than what we see today. I just want to say I'm sure I'm not the only one who's wondering, but we know that DOGE has found quite a bit of money, and we would like to see some of that returned to the American people. Do you have any information on when DOGE checks would be written or sent out?
Bear with it. We're deep in Musk's ramble zone right now.
Well, I guess we need to be successful at scale. We've made a lot of progress, but there's still a tremendous amount of work to do. Effectively, as government spending is made more efficient and spending is reduced, the tax by inflation is reduced. So one way or another, you will effectively be better off if resources in the United States are not wasted. And it's somewhat up to the Congress and maybe the President to as to whether specific checks are cut. But whether a check is cut or not, if you reduce wasteful spending, the economy is going to be better off. People will do more useful jobs than before. The total output of goods and services will increase, and then the average standard of living will. There is a massive amount of corruption, but it is circuitous. So what happens is there's money that, obviously it's your taxpayer money, that is then sent to various government organizations who then send it to NGOs, which an NGO is a non-governmental organization, but obviously, if it's a government-funded non-governmental organization, it's just an organization. It's just a government. And effectively, there's a giant fraud loophole, which is that the government can send money to an NGO that is then no longer governed by the laws of the United States. So they'll send the money overseas to one NGO, then they'll go through a bunch of them, and then I'm highly confident that a bunch of that money then comes back to the United States and lands in the pockets of the people you just mentioned.
So there it is. The world's richest man on stage. Wherever it is, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because wherever he stands, he somehow ends up rewriting reality. This time, he's warning us about politicians using the system to get rich. Oh, really, Elon? Really? Coming from the man who built his empire on government subsidies, regulatory loopholes, and let's not forget, dodgy paperwork in his early days? Let me read you a bit from this article from the New Republic from 2025. A new Washington Post report found that the tech mogul enthusiast built his fortune from $38 billion in government contracts, loans, subsidies, and tax credits going back more than 20 years. Musk's companies received at least $6.3 billion in commitments from state and local governments in 2024 alone, and this is likely an undercount. This is capitalism for the poor and socialism for the rich. Period. Is it just me? Or is this yet another power play? A grab for more contracts, more control, more cash, dressed up, of course, as righteous outrage.
So there aren't going to be DOGE checks?
the radical left are saying that like somehow we're stealing Social Security. Like, first of all, I don't need I don't need the money. Okay. In fact, it's costing me a lot to be in this job.
And Elon Musk probably realized he'd committed a crime because he deleted his first tweet and then posted a clarification. But when you rob a bank, you can't clarify afterwards that you didn't mean to rob the bank. It's still a criminal act. So what we have now really is this question of whether the world's richest man can buy our democracy.
The world is just weird, just like Kamala and Walt said in 2024. Weird. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a like on your way out. See you in the next one. And do not be afraid to state your opinion.
You're right now not in a very good position. Not in a very good position. God bless the United States.